From Pop Warner to the Dome. From 5Ks to marathons. From Little League to work leagues. Focusing on the community sports lifestyle in Central New York. This is SportsXpress Radio on News Radio 570 WSYR. Now on 106.9 FM.
All right, good morning, folks. Welcome to the SportsXpress Radio Show. We have a full studio today. We will be talking to Lawrence Moten today about that big CBT basketball classic that they held. I think it was on Friday night. We got the Kens in the studio. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning, Perry.
And the president of Sports Express, CEO, chief cook and bottle washer, Mr. Rob Bennett. How are you, sir?
Hi, Perry. Doing great.
Yeah, well, we didn't go to the game. We decided not to. There were other things we had to do.
Too many things going on in the community sports world, Perry.
Yes, that's right. So we decided to send a reporter there. We had a reporter there, ladies and gentlemen. And we want to get a little update on the game. I mean, he was there after all. We didn't know anything about the game, but there are a couple of... I don't want to steal any of his thunder, actually. But he plays football. In fact, he has a football game this afternoon. I think he has a football game. Well, let's ask him. His name is Ashton Bennett. He's 13 years old, and he was our scout at the football game yesterday, and he has a football game this afternoon that you're going to, right, Rob?
The wrong son. He's going to his little brother's football game.
Oh, he's going to his little brother's football game.
That's
okay,
correct.
Sorry. That's all right. He has a football game today. Hey, good morning, Ashton. How are you?
Good morning, Perry.
Okay, now tell us about the football game. What are your impressions as a 13-year-old? You're going there. I mean, you have season tickets there with your dad and your family. And you tell us what you thought about the football game yesterday.
Well, our only touchdown in the first quarter was a pick six to tie it 10-10, and then we scored 2 TDs in the second quarter, and we were up 24-17 at halftime. And then in the second half, we had a 17-0 run for the final score of 41-27.
Wow. All right, that's pretty
not
good.
bad. Pretty good.
That's not bad. That's a summary of the game. Okay, were there any outstanding plays that you can think of that you saw?
Well, not any singular plays, but we did rush for 300 yards, which was really nice.
Yeah, well, that's what I was looking at. Ken, you know this. I'm a big believer, Rob, in statistics. Statistics don't lie. I don't care whether it's baseball or football or basketball or hockey or tennis. It doesn't make any difference. Statistics don't lie. If you read this morning's paper and you said, let's see, there's a football game yesterday, and the team, one of the teams passed for 279 yards. They rushed for 300 yards. They were 1 for 1 on fourth down conversions. They were 5 for 5 in red zone scoring. That means they get to the 20-yard line and they score 5 out of 5 times. And they had kickoff return yards, 3 of them for 113 yards. Who's going to win the game?
Well, but you don't have the statistics for the other team.
I don't care.
Well, what are you talking about?
I don't care.
Last year, Manning threw 5 touchdown passes and they lost.
What does that have to do with the statistic? You're not telling me that they scored it 5 times out of 5 in the red zone.
Yeah, but you're not giving the statistic to the other team.
It doesn't make any difference, Ken. If those statistics, the team's going to win.
All right.
Well, we talked about it last week, Perry, and Syracuse really needed to get the ground game going, and they certainly did it. I know James, if James was talking about it, he would still be upset by the fact that the quarterback was the leading rusher there, but 300 total rushing yards, I think, definitely gets them back on track.
Yeah, I would say so. And by the way, I did find out that he must have seen the play, Ashton. Didn't he run for 71 yards? Didn't he run for 71-yard touchdown?
Yeah,
play?
that's pretty impressive.
Whoa, yeah. He ran for 71 yards, and then also Mo Neal. No, that was Mo Neal who ran the 71 yards. How long was Dungy's run?
Dungy's run was more than 70 yards.
Yeah, it was
as well.
74.
Yeah.
Well, so you saw 2 big plays, I would say back-breaking plays. And that happened in the second and third quarter, huh? Anyway, because there wasn't any score in the second. In the fourth quarter, did the coach, did he substitute in the last quarter? I mean, it was 0-0 in the last quarter. I didn't see, so something was happening in the game last quarter. It seemed like it was pretty high offensive powered by then. But anyway, okay, so O'Neill.
Yeah.
Again, he disagrees with the pronoun. But all I'm telling you, Ken, is when you get inside the 20-yard line and you go 5 for 5, that's pretty impressive.
Absolutely, without
Chances
question.
Do you want to know how the other team did on those same statistics?
Yes.
Okay. Instead of passing for 279 yards, they passed for 277, which isn't bad. And instead of rushing for 300, they rushed for 105. They had 1 for 2 fourth down conversions, 2 for 3 inside the red zone, which means they didn't get inside the red zone very often. And they had 3 punt returns for 45 yards. Anyway, statistics for statistics. Syracuse and with special teams, and I think Coach felt that way too, right, Rob?
Yeah, the
He
coach
did.
was very happy about the special team play. I think, Central Michigan it's a quality program. They came into the Dome 2-0 and beaten Kansas and Rhode Island, so a pretty good football team. So that's a good win for Syracuse.
Yes, sir. They have a tough schedule coming up. Oh, my gosh. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But it is time right now for the Community Sports Report with the Kenster, Ken O'Neill.
Thank you, Perry. This is the Sports Express Local, brought to you by the Davidson Ford Auto Dealerships. This week there were some amazing stars in high school football. Skinny Atlas quarterback Pat Hackler passed for 6 touchdowns and ran for 2 more as the Lakers defeated Hamilton 54-6. Matt Tobin rushed for 4 TDs, helping West Canada Valley defeat Westmoreland 27-14. Joe Benedict rushed for 257 yards for Sandy Creek. Jake Will Everson had 242 yards for Corcoran. Jake Edinger had 229 rushing for Southern Hills and 6 touchdowns. Liam Berry completed 18 passes for West Genesee. Ben Rustay of West Genesee had 6 receptions, while his teammates Victor Elias and John Northrup had 5 each. Dylan Stelmark of Onondaga had 114 receiving yards. Jacob Demko of Carthage had 197 yards rushing in a 27-20 win over Whitesboro, and Justin Donnelly produced 2 touchdowns rushing and 2 through the air. In boys soccer, Jacob Sherline capped off a big Whitesboro comeback in a 3-2 decision over Utica Notre Dame. South Louis scored 8 times and shutting out Sackett's Harbor. Slater Bushin rattled off 10 goals and 5 assists, breaking the state's single-game scoring record in the Lime victory over Sandy Creek Pulaski. And in boys volleyball, behind 22 kills from Josh Bigford and 27 assists by Tristan Cummings, Cicero North Syracuse defeated Oswego 3-1. In our next report, we'll have the girls' high school results. This has been the Sports Express Local, brought to you by the Davidson Ford Auto Group.
Hey, thank you, Ken. All right, on the line with us now is Lawrence Moten. And as most of you know, the inaugural CBT Celebrity Classic basketball game was played at Henniger High last Thursday night. Lawrence, you got to tell us about it. Evidently, it was a big deal.
It was a fabulous weekend that we just had. It started Thursday, of course, with the celebrity game. A lot of people showed up. It was a great event at Henniger High School, a fan-friendly event. Good to see a lot of alumni, people who actually play all sports, basketball, football, lacrosse, but it's definitely good to reconnect with the people you haven't seen in a long time. We had a great dinner last night at a gala. Carmelo Anthony showed up and said a very, very beautiful speech, him and Dave Bing. And like I said, it was just good to see people you haven't seen in a while and just letting people know in this Syracuse community that we love them and we appreciate the love they've given us.
Hey, Lawrence, Rob here. First things first, I was able to go to the game on Thursday night, and you still got it. Still silky smooth and still popping those jumpers. So that was impressive. But my question for you is, how good is Brittany Sykes?
Brittany Sykes is a very, very good young female basketball player, and I told her, and I tell her all the time, I call her, my nickname for Brittany is Jump Shot. I've been calling her that for many years now. She's put in endless hours of work, and a lot of people got to understand, this is a female who's torn both ACLs.
Oh, wow.
A lot of people don't know that. She's torn both her ACLs, and she's came back, she's come back even stronger, and she should definitely, I told her Thursday, and I'll tell her every time I see her, she got my vote this year for WNBA Rookie of the Year.
She was just spectacular. I saw you trying to check her a couple different times, and you looked like you're having a little trouble, Lawrence.
No trouble at all. No trouble at all. Sometimes, I had a kind of like a flashback where, you feel like you're playing against your daughter, so you kind of
Hey, Lawrence.
take it a little easy. Yeah.
Okay, so John Wallace was there. James Sutherland was there. Eric Diefendorf. That must have been a lot of fun having those guys there, too. And who were the football players? They said former football players.
Yeah, former football players. I'm sitting right beside one of my brothers right now as I'm speaking to you. Former Syracuse great fullback Alfred Wooten, who was here. Shelby Hill. James. No, James wasn't there. Sorry, James.
James wasn't there, right?
Doug Hogue, I think, Lawrence, right, was there?
Dwayne Kennan, Jason Poles, all those type of guys. So like I said, we're just one big family. Athletically, but also socially. We had some great people here. I got a chance to meet Tay Diggs, the great actor, last night, who was a Syracuse graduate of '93. So we have a lot of great people who did some great things, not only athletically, but, socially and doing big things in this world we live in.
Yeah. Hey, Lawrence, what was the reason for this CBT event, the Basketball Classic and the Gala last night?
Well, it was definitely, that's a great question, Rob. Basically, every 3 years, all Latinos and African Americans who attended the university from the early 50s until now, we come back and we just network and try to help out each other any way that we can. And it's also our goal to raise funds for the Latino and African American students who might want to attend Syracuse University, and we're trying to support them in any way we can. Especially, and these are most of the kids that are inner city kids in our Syracuse and surrounding communities. So we're big on trying to help out the people in the Syracuse community, because I tell people all the time, the community is nothing without the university, and the university is nothing without the community.
Yeah. Hey, Lawrence, there was one more thing about the game that I just can't go on any further without mentioning. Someone happened to make 9 3-pointers. Are you kidding me?
Yes. And Katie, her name is Katie Sutherland. She's the assistant coach for the men's basketball team. Katie's a very beautiful lady. And it's funny that you say that, because every time she made that shot, so you let me know, you know what you just did, Perry?
What?
You let me know that I actually had a triple-double that night. Because every time I passed her the ball, she made that three.
You definitely were looking to set her up, Lawrence. That was fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm glad. Okay, then I didn't know that you were doing that intentionally, but that's great that she made 9. I wanted to.
Oh man, it was, like I say, it was a great event. I really, my main thing and what really made me happy was seeing the joy on the little kids' faces that wanted to take pictures with us after the games and even before the game. And, that's big to me. Like I said, I'm big on helping out these youth. That's why we're all together, with the magazine, with SportsXpress, and how we're just trying to be connected to the community and let people know that, the university is good and the Post Standard does great things, but we need to talk a little bit more about everything that's going on in Syracuse and the surrounding community.
Yes, sir. Okay,
Beautifully
Lawrence
said.
Moulton, thank you very much, Lawrence. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay. Take care, guys.
Okay,
Thanks,
10-4,
Lawrence.
10-4. Folks, hang on to your seats. Do not touch that dial. We're coming back with more on the Sports Express Radio Show. This is News Radio 570 WSYR, now on 106.9 FM.
Sports Express Radio on News Radio 570 WSYR. Now on 106.9 FM.
Sports Express is back on the air with Rob Bennett, president of Sports Express. Hey, good morning, Rob.
Hey, Perry.
Hey, good morning, Kenster.
Good morning.
Hey, Ashton, our reporter at the Syracuse football game yesterday. Good morning, Ashton.
Hello, Perry.
Hey, Perry, where's Mungro today?
Mungro is incognito.
Incognito. Okay.
I think he's in California. No, I think he went to North Korea.
North Korea. Okay.
I don't know where he is.
No, I
we were
think-
supposed to hear from him, but he doesn't feel too well.
No, James is not feeling well, but we all know that guy's tough as nails. So if he was not here, he must be really banged up. So
Yep.
feel better, James.
Yeah. Hope you feel better, James. Hey, you have a great family, James. There was that camp we went to last week. It was last week, wasn't it?
Last Saturday, yeah.
Great camp. And that will not be the last time you have that camp, I'm sure.
No, we're planning on doing it for the in connection with the spring game this year, and a lot of great things going on with Syracuse University.
Good. All right, listen, I'm going to bring up a topic, and I want to hear from Ashton, too, how he feels about this. As you know, Mike Hopkins was a basketball assistant here under Boeheim for many, many years, and he left. All right, and things happened. He had an opportunity to go to Washington up there somewhere, and he took it. Boeheim has things have changed. That changes the whole scenario. Then he doesn't have to retire it during the 17-18 season, after the 17-18 season, and now we have another equation. So now we have father-son, as you and Ashton, right? The father-son combo. So I think he stays for the duration until Buddy gets out. How do you feel about that?
I think that's fantastic.
Yes.
I remember when Lawrence moved back into town, one of the first meetings that we had with him, we talked about SportsXpress and everything we had going on. And, he was just talking about the basketball community up at Syracuse University, and in typical Lawrence fashion, he's like, Rob, you heard it here first. Buddy Boeheim's going to Syracuse University. And he was absolutely 100% correct.
Yeah. All right, look, and the reason, now I'm going to ask Ashton a question, because Coach obviously had something to do with Buddy's career in basketball. I mean, he just doesn't go home and have dinner and not talk basketball. So you've had your dad coaching you, right, Ashton?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. And
Poor kid.
Would you rather, if you think about it from sometimes it's difficult. No, not sometimes. It's always difficult, because I'm going to guess, Rob, it's your son. You want to treat him just like everybody else so that he's not different. So what is this relationship? How has it worked out? Are you happy with the way your father's been taking care of your career? I know it's putting you on the spot, Ashton. But you know what we want, Ashton? We want the down and dirty stuff, Ashton. Give it to us. Come on. How do you feel about your dad coaching you?
Well, I think he handles it very well, because it's not like he favors me or anything. He gives me more playing time than anybody else, but he creates it fair and just like I'm a normal player.
All right. And from a parent's point of view, and you do a lot of this, all right, because you have another son, and from a parent's point of view, and Boeheim has got to feel the same way. What are your thoughts?
There's no place I'd rather be, Perry, than coaching my kids. And my daughter, who's a senior this year, spent a lot of time with her in volleyball, and my two boys with all sports, and it's just very special. Unlike some of the SportsXpress team, I don't have any dreams or aspirations of these kids playing professional sports. But at the same time, I just think sports is so important to the overall development of these kids and the lessons that they learn through football and volleyball and all these sports. It's life lessons that they can keep with them in everything that they do.
Yeah.
Learn how to deal with adversity, deal with success, and everything that comes along with it.
Okay. Hey, all right. Nice segment, guys. And then it is time for another report from the Kenster, Ken O'Neill.
Thank you, Perry. The Sports Express Local is brought to you by the Davidson Auto Dealership. In girls' high school action, in girls' soccer, Nicole Failing of Little Falls had a hand or foot in all 7 scores in the team's 7-zip win over Dolgeville, scoring 6 goals and 1 assist. Oneida won their match 8-zip on the strength of goals by Melina Ball, Erica Herman, Mackenzie O'Hearn, Lauren Hopkins, Hannah Kimball, and 3 by Julia Picard. East Syracuse Minot defeated Central Square as Francisca Polcaro scored the only goal. In girls' tennis, CBA remained undefeated at 9-0 as Rena Steele, Giselle Vlasis, and Grace Del Pino won 18 games between them and only lost 2 and won 3 of 4 doubles matches. On the volleyball court, Skinny Atlas improved to 6-0 on the strength of a 5-set decision against Solvay. In girls cross country in Class A, the number 1 ranked team in the state is Fayetteville Manlius. Liverpool is 6th and West Genesee is 9th. In Class B, Janesville DeWitt is ranked 13th. In Class C, CBA is ranked 3rd. Vernon Verona Sherrill is 4th. And in Class D, South Lewis is ranked 3rd. Beaver River 4th. Tully 6th. And New York Mills is 11th. And that's a look at the Sports Express Local, brought to you by the Davidson Ford Auto Group.
Folks, we're coming back with another segment. Don't you touch that dial. It's Athletes of the Week with Rob Bennett. This is News Radio 570 WSYR, now on 106.9 FM.
Sports Express Radio continues on News Radio 570 WSYR, now on 106.9 FM.
All right, welcome back to the Sports Express Radio Show. We've got our 45-year veteran of radio, the Kenster, Ken O'Neill, in the studio. Good morning, Ken.
Thank you, Perry.
We have Rob Bennett, the president and CEO of Sports Express. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning.
And good morning again, our on the scene reporter, Ashton Bennett. Good morning, Ashton.
Good morning, Perry.
All right, this segment is going to be the Davison Ford Athletes of the Week. All right, we call it that segment, and that's your segment because you travel as much as anybody I know all over Central New York watching these high school games of not only football, basketball, baseball, and you coach all the sports, don't you?
I coach a couple.
Okay. The Athletes of the Week report with Rob Bennett.
Perry, thank you for that setup, and I'm so excited about this today. And, the thing about Sports Express is not just about youth sports and it's not about high school sports, but we cover the entirety of the sport community lifestyle, and I could not be more excited to announce our Athletes of the Week. I got a call earlier in the week from my friend Dan O'Hara, which if you see Dan O'Hara, it's just like if you see football guy on the website or on Wikipedia, Dan O'Hara's picture comes up, and he said, Rob, there's a meeting this weekend that I want you to come to on Saturday, but it's a formation for our new Auburn professional football team.
No way.
Got so excited for those of you guys who know this, but Auburn is just a huge sports town and a big-time football town, and they're going to have their own professional football team there, and these guys are getting it going. And, in this segment, we talked about doing things a little bit differently, not just the kids who throw for 6 touchdowns and, have 47 kills in a volleyball match, but something a little bit out of the ordinary. And so my Athletes of the Week in this segment are the athletes that are starting this new professional football team. I've got a couple names here. Ray Miles, who was a big-time quarterback at Cortland State, threw for almost 3,000 yards.
I have
senior
some
year.
questions for Ray when we get him on. And by the way, we will have the president of this new team, Pat Yurko, on in the next segment, folks.
Absolutely.
So don't touch that dial. And who else?
We've got Al Sessions. His nickname is Al Highlight, wide receiver.
Where did he play?
Auburn.
Okay.
Yeah. And Cruz Johnson, big-time linebacker.
Okay.
So those are the athletes that are helping to form this team. I met with about 30 of the players at this organizational meeting. They're going to have 50 players coming up, and just could not be more excited. Professional football right in our backyard in Auburn.
Professional football. And where do they expect to play the games?
Holland Stadium, right behind Auburn Community College. It's where the varsity team plays. They've put a lot of money into that field, some major renovations, and I've seen some pictures that look spectacular. And this new Auburn team, I'm going to allow Pat to talk about what they came up with a name and things like that, but extremely, extremely excited to get this thing going.
Okay, so the Athletes of the Week will be the new players for the Auburn Pride, they're going to call themselves, right?
That's my understanding.
All right, and we would like our first report on the Auburn Pride to come from Ashton Bennett. Come on, Ashton, we got to get you a report. Well, whenever they play their first game.
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea.
Is the schedule set?
They're just getting going, Perry, and I think those are things we're going to talk to Pat about. But they're going to starting practices next week and build up for their season, all of that type of thing.
How many teams do they have? Do they know yet?
They're still trying to figure out whether they're going to go into the Empire Football League or there's some other leagues. This is the meeting the other day was an organizational meeting, but they're trying to put all those details together. Just so exciting watching them, the process about what they're going to utilize for their team name and their team logo and their team colors and all of that type of stuff. They had the Rydell guy in there going through different uniforms and things that they could utilize. Just unbelievably exciting to be in at the ground floor.
Well, anytime you start a team up, I mean, there are all kinds of things, the marketing, the promotion, the uniforms, but nothing is more complicated than starting a football team. Now, you think about the equipment that is required for football. The equipment room is a whole entity in itself, and the business. Anyway, can't wait to talk to Pat Yurko and Ray Miles in our next segment. And so there you are, folks. Our Athletes of the Week are the new players for the Auburn Pride. And we're going to take a break right now because we want to talk to both Pat and Ray in the next segment. This is News Radio 570 WSYR, now on 106.9 FM.
More of Sports Express Radio on News Radio 570 WSYR, now on 106.9 FM.
Welcome back, folks, to the last segment of the SportsXpress Radio Show. In the studio, Rob Bennett, Ken O'Neill, the Kenster, and Ashton Bennett. But on the line with us right now is both the president of the new Auburn Pride professional football team, but we have their quarterback on the line from Cortland. I have a few questions for Mr. Miles from Cortland. I heard he threw for over 3,000 yards, Mr. Bennett. Is that true?
His senior year, I think just under 3,000 yards,
goodness.
Perry.
Well, that was bad news for Ithaca. I don't know what the score was, but I'm going to ask him. Anyway, on the line with us, Pat Yurko, president of the new Auburn Pride. Good morning, Pat, and congratulations.
Good morning, and thank you very much for having me on.
Well, what gave you the idea to start this team? I mean, it's not that just overnight you decide, hey, let's start a football team. There's a lot of things that have to happen, Pat.
Oh, indeed there is. And, I got to give a lot of credit to Dan O'Hara and some other members of the board. They really got the ball rolling, to be honest with you. And then I just came on this past week. I was asked to be the president. And so for me, it's still a bit of a learning process. And, my role as far as being president, a big part of that is going to be marketing this team and selling this team to the community. And I think that's going to be a huge thing.
Okay, so you didn't actually have the initial idea then, but why football and why Auburn?
Well, I think Auburn is a really big football town, and it's certainly a sports town. And people are always looking for something to do in the summer, and we view football not as just a sport, which of course it is, but also as entertainment, and it's a business. And so we think this is something that Auburn will embrace. And I think it'll be great for the community.
Football is not only entertainment, but it's a way of life for a lot of people as well.
You betcha.
Well, it is a way of life, but hang on a second, Rob. We're getting a lot of publicity lately, and a lot of national recognition with all the concussions and everything else that's going on. But you got to keep this going because you're going to have those people forever. We had it back in the when I was playing in the 90s. We had them there. There's Ken again. Hey, look at Ken.
I didn't say anything.
Okay. No, but I'm glad you're doing it. And most of these players are local players from the Auburn area, Pat?
There's some from Auburn. There's some from Rochester, Binghamton, Syracuse. We got several players from Syracuse. Yeah, a lot of surrounding community as well.
What were you going to say, Rob?
Yeah, hey, Pat, could you introduce the rest of the people on the board of directors that helped lead you down this path?
Sure. We have Terry Daniels, Scott Wilson, Claude Howard Jr., Steven Syracusa, Margaret Barron, Jim Casbaro, Eric Jensen.
All right.
Yeah, I got to meet a lot of these guys the other day. Just a top-notch group and first-class people.
All right, we're going to switch now. If you don't mind, Pat, we're going to talk to your. Hopefully he still has to try out, or is he the starting quarterback? Hey, Mr. Ray Miles. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing?
Great.
Okay, so you were the quarterback at Cortland. When were you there, Ray?
I was at Cortland from 2005 until 2009.
Okay, so you played on the Cortland. What do they call them? The red what?
The Red Dragons.
The Red Dragons.
You know they're the Red Dragons, Perry. Come on.
I don't know the Red Dragons. The Red Dragons. I heard enough about the Red Dragons in my career. By the way, Ray, you may not know this, but I'm going to tell you anyway.
I may know.
You may know.
Yeah.
I played in the first Cortica Jug game.
I heard that rumor that you might be an Ithaca guy.
You did. By the way, in your how many times did you beat Ithaca during your career?
I was actually 2-2 against Ithaca. My junior year is the first. We won my freshman, sophomore year, junior, and senior year. We lost them.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, it's a great rivalry. There's not enough time to tell you the story about how it all started. But, okay, so you're the quarterback. Were you recruited? How did this all happen? Are you an Auburn kid?
Well, I actually graduated from Port Byron,
Okay.
local community here. I live in Auburn currently. And I'm pretty good friends with Dan O'Hara, who's pretty much the mastermind behind this program, and he's been involved with football his entire life. Played when he was younger. He's coached. He's a big part of the Auburn Pop Warner football team or program here in Auburn, New York. So he gave me a phone call, and going from there.
Okay, so tell the folks what your physical statistics are. We want to know this because now you've been away from the game for at least 9 years, so we got to figure this out. How is this going to happen that all of a sudden you're going to be on that field and you're going to be trying to perform at quarterback? You think you've lost any of the skills, or you've been working at it?
Well, I've actually played semi-pro recently. The last couple of years I was playing out in Syracuse, so I haven't been away from the game for too long. But I'm right now 6'2", 215 pounds. Feel great. Still think I can run a 4.7 maybe.
A 4.7? Oh my goodness.
Perry, all I have to say is that when Ray walked into the organizational meeting, the group broke out in applause. So this is a guy who's got it. I can virtually guarantee that.
Yeah, well, it's really exciting, and I can't wait. I can't wait to get to one of your games. How about you, Ashton? You ready to go to report on that first game that they have?
Yes, I'm excited.
Hey, Pat, we don't know exactly when you're going to have the first game, but tell us a little bit about where you are now and the scheduling and which league you're going to play in.
Yeah, so at this point we're still going back and forth between two possible leagues, the EFL or the NFA. And I don't want to commit to a decision at this point, especially without meeting with the rest of the board. But the schedule will begin in July and then go through September in either case.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, Pat, did I hear you guys are going to be starting practices soon?
We're going to make that decision soon.
Okay.
Pat, did I hear that you guys are going to be doing practices throughout the winter and getting going pretty quickly, or did I misunderstand that?
That's correct. Starting in January, we're going to start having weekly practices in an indoor facility.
All right. Well, listen, there is something that I can contribute. I would like to be one of your first cheerleaders. I mean, I want to, I like to do the somersaults thing and the flipping and around, and get everybody revved up. Are you going to have a cheerleading team?
You're it.
No. Listen. I'm telling you now. You want to get the community involved? You get a cheerleading team out there. I don't care if it's 4 or 5, whatever you do. Yeah, before the game, absolutely. And we got to have the big band too. I don't know. Maybe we can get the Auburn High School marching band or whatever.
We might need to hear your physical stature before we commit to that.
Good point.
Wait a minute. Who was that? Pat or Ray?
That was
Ray. That was all Ray.
Oh yeah. Attaboy, Ray. Nice going, Ray. Yeah. Listen, I tell you what I put in my everybody kind of fudges a little bit, but when your name is going in the program, you always kind of embellish your statistics, right? I wasn't that bad. I mean, I was 5'11" and I was 185 pounds. And what's the matter with that at quarterback?
There you go. Nothing. As long as you can play, right?
Yeah. Hey, Ray, do you have a general understanding of some of the weapons that you'll be working with the Pride going forward?
We've actually had a couple 7-on-7 practices in the past couple weeks, and there's some kids that haven't played before that are coming out. There's kids that have been with programs in the past, and as far as the receiving corps, there's some pretty good weapons for me to target, and really excited to start working with these kids, start teaching and learning from them as well.
Fantastic. What about linemen?
Linemen, there was 4 of them at our meeting last night, and I had to look up to every single one of them, and I'm 6'2", so.
Yeah, there were some big boys in there.
Yeah, that makes me feel better.
Yeah, and it should. And so, is this more like a labor of love, or is this perhaps maybe an opportunity for some of the players to say, "Hey, you never know. I'm playing on a field. Somebody might see me someday, and I might do something special. I might get a call from another team in the NFL."
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, this is something we all love doing. It's an opportunity that's given to us to continue doing what we love doing. But there's been scouts in the past, and obviously there's that opportunity. You never know what could happen. So a lot of people are playing for that. But obviously the love of the game is there.
Yeah. Well, I can't tell you how proud we are that Auburn's going to have a new football team. It's just another way, that Auburn community with the double days and everything, they got their act together there. It's almost like you're driving around and you go into Auburn and it's like different. All right, it's just different. You get a feeling that there's something else going on there in that community. Hey, Pat, how much have you had to do with that little different atmosphere that hangs around in Auburn?
A big part of it, actually.
Actually, those guys in Auburn are a little too cocky for me, though.
Too cocky or too good?
It's pride.
They're
It's all
good.
pride.
They're good.
It's all pride. It's all about pride.
Yeah, you know what? I really believe it. You have a sense of pride. The way the community, the way that it looks, the way it feels, it's certainly. We know that it's kept up pretty well. You know, in terms of maintenance, I don't see a lot of. The storefronts are all occupied. It's not like you have a lot of vacancies in any of the commercial buildings, but it's a nice, it's a great little community, and
there's a tremendous amount of history in the town as well.
For example,
Harriet Tubman home is here.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Seward Mansion's right down the road. A lot of history here.
That's true. You're right. You are absolutely correct. So you've actually created your own little community there intentionally. And now we have a professional football team, professional baseball team, and we've got Lawrence Moulton. You can start a professional basketball team now, too. Anyway, well, good luck this season. You have anything else, Rob, to add?
No, just very, very excited. Looking forward to helping you guys in any way, shape, or form, and promoting all your activities through all of the Sports Express formats that we have. Please don't hesitate to call with anything that you need.
Yeah, Ken, you got another? Ask any questions?
Yeah, if you're interested in an announcer, I'm able to do that.
Okay, the Kenster.
It may be.
Yeah. Okay. And
hey, I want to add one thing if I can.
What?
Of course.
The players chose the name the Auburn Pride, and I think that's important.
Oh, very. I did. Okay, I meant to ask you about.
Yeah, what was that process? How did that come about?
Well, we had a number of people on the board and involved in the team, both as coaches and players, and they've all been in situations where the teams have not been run particularly well, and I don't want to mention names, but we really wanted to make a lot of changes from other teams and have a lot of transparency. And one thing we wanted to do is put some of the ownership in the hands of the players. And one way to do that, I guess, somewhat symbolically, was to give them the opportunity to come up with a name.
Oh, terrific. Okay, great idea. Great idea. Ashton, can you think of anything you might want to ask Ray Miles, the quarterback?
You excited for the season?
I can't wait for the season.
Yeah,
we're about 9-10 months out, and we're already getting together, running around, perfecting our game. So, yeah, we're beyond excited.
All right. Thank you, Pat Yurko, the president of the New Auburn Pride professional football team in Auburn, New York, and Ray Miles, the starting quarterback. Hey, thanks, guys. Hope this isn't the last time we talk to you.
Thank you, and it won't be.
Good luck, guys.
All right, talk to you later. Okay. And by the way, that was a great idea. I wasn't sure, about your athletes of the week, but the more I thought about it and the way that it's gone here, I think it was a what do you now you're laughing at me.
It wouldn't be the last time you told me that I screwed up, Perry. I guarantee.
I didn't say you screwed up. Anyway, this has been a lot of fun. A little different today because we had Ashton. So Ashton, tell the audience how this experience has been, because when he first came in, Ashton was just going to sit over next to his dad and wait for the show to end and go watch your brother's football game, right? Oh,
yes.
Any thoughts about radio or anything else?
It's pretty cool seeing all of this stuff come together.
Yeah, okay.
And you're the future host of this show, aren't
Wait.
you there?
Maybe.
Yeah, you never know. He's not in diapers, but he does have a Penn State Nittany Lions T-shirt on. Is that your team?
I do like them, but I like Syracuse better.
Yeah, okay. Very nice. Good answer, Ashton. Now, you're going to be covering that today. You're going to the football game. What else is going on this week?
Oh, it's just nonstop between football, volleyball, soccer, everything under the sun. I know you've got an event coming up later today. What are you doing later today?
Oh, I'm going to go to that Carol Baldwin charity event at Lakeshore Golf and Country Club. I'm going to be playing with Steve Poplarski and his son Chris, and it's a charity event. And then there's a tournament tomorrow with this New York State over at Skinny Atlas at your club. But wait a minute, the rest of the week with Sports Express, what do you got going on? How can people contact you with Sports Express if they have something at Community News or they have an article or they want to advertise?
Really, I know I'm repeating myself now, but we are really trying to get the community to embrace us and utilize our radio show, our website, our social media, our magazine, as your community sport connection. So anything that you want to get out there, promote activities, promote your coaches, promote your events, please allow us to help. You can always contact me by email, rob@sportsexpress.com, sportsxpress.com, and check us out at sportsexpress.com and syracuse.sportsexpress.com.
Yeah, and guess what? The Auburn Pride, they may already have their announcer right there in the stands announcing the ticket holders who won a free trip to Hawaii or whatever. Hey, Ken, that was very good of you to offer that.
Thank you very much.
Hey, well, why wouldn't they want the Kenster there?
Who knows?
Just listening to those guys talk, and they're going to be such a big part of the Auburn community and the entire Central New York community.
And the thing I like was
group.
they sound excited. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's
for sure.
That's pretty good. It's not like the guy for the Miami Dolphins who said they signed him to a $10 million contract. He goes, well, my wife made me take it. And, I like this excitement.
I'm waiting for Perry to sign me to my $10 million contract.
Yeah.
There
Hey,
you go.
but another team, the league that they play in could be really exciting for a little rivalry, with Auburn and Syracuse. That would be cool if they got in the Empire League. But don't forget that Empire League's been around for a while, and you're talking about veterans now that have played there. So starting a new team is not exactly easy.
Yeah, I think as you heard though, there's a lot of guys that have played in some professional, semi-professional teams. So these guys have been playing for a while, and they're gonna do just fine. I have no doubt.
Do you think they would consider an older gentleman maybe putting on the pads one more time?
Are we talking about you?
Well, sort of.
Then the answer is no.
Oh, all right, sorry.
Now, see,
What?
if I had
Very-
said that, he would have given me
I
a hard
was-
time.
what?
But you said it, he didn't say anything.
Oh, baloney. You think I'm going to ask him again? I'm not going to ask him again.
Oh,
Anyway.
help me.
Oh, there's the music.
The music is here.
I've had a lot of fun today. You, Ashton?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Okay. Any final thoughts? No, we don't have enough time. Folks, I want to thank you very much. The fellas up at Davidson Ford have really stepped up to the plate. They have the title sponsorship for the show, and it's been fun with Lawrence Moten and James Mungro and Roosevelt Bowie when he comes on, and Dale Shackelford. And you're working on some more guys, too.
Yeah, and next week we're going to be talking to Dave Maloney from the Camillus Cats youth baseball program, talking about his trip to Cooperstown and all the great things that happen there. So we're very excited.
All right, folks. Hey, for Davison Ford and everybody else listening, thank you very much. This is the Sports Express Radio Show. You are listening to News Radio 570 WSYR, now on 106.9 FM.